Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the Fool energy. You're a free spirit. You are a wild child. You love novelty. You love to play. You love to laugh and sing and dance. You're open to new experiences. I think you love meeting people. You're very charming. You have a wonderful sense of humor. And I think that you try to have a kind of worry-free zone in your life. I think that we take intentional time out of our day to just let go, to sing and dance, and just to kind of return to a more natural state. Okay? And so, I don't know, do you go to like these like Renaissance fairs or something like that, right? I feel like there's just something that you do intentionally in life to just like let go and to just I don't know, almost feels like we were able to set down our persona for a little while and maybe pick up a different one, pick up some new kind of, to me it feels like we're indulging in different sides of ourselves, you know, which I think is a very Gemini thing to do. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what's going on with you this week. We have a Four of Swords. I feel like some plans got canceled for you. Yeah? Yeah, there's the Six of Swords. Yeah, some plan you had, I think it's kind of like, now we're not sure if it's going to come through or it's already been canceled. Yeah, I think it's already been canceled. Look at those cards. But we have the Universe card. We have a Six of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and the Universe. Over here, we have the Two of Wands. We have a Five of Swords. We have a Queen of Wands, and we have a Queen of Cups. Yeah, I feel like something fell through, something that you were very excited about. It fell through, and we're sort of dealing with that, with those feelings. You know, we're dealing with the kind of the disappointment in a way. Yeah, but I think that we're sort of we're ready to do something else. We're ready to sort of pivot and change course a little bit here. Yeah. So we have this Fool energy that is always open to new opportunities, and doesn't mean the Fool's not going to be disappointed when something falls through. That things are going to have to be rearranged. I think it's like your schedule is being rearranged, or something that you were very excited about doing. It's either been because of the weather or because something else didn't connect, and so those plans fell through. Okay, so there's a little bit of disorder going on now, but I feel like we're kind of dealing with that, and we're looking for something else to do. It seems very, very straightforward. But let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. Set it down right over here. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading, okay? If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Looking at these cards a little bit closer, we see our two major arcana. We see fire. We see a little bit of water at the end, and then we've got air and air and air, and a couple of earth cards. Okay. The Four of Swords here, right in the middle, as sort of the obstacle or the quest right now. It's kind of like we're having a difficult time letting something go and forgiving somebody or something. The plans fell through. Maybe we feel like somebody has, or some feel like it's another person, but I don't know for sure. Someone or something has interfered with what we were planning on doing or what we wanted to do, and we're having a difficult time letting go of that anger, letting go of that frustration. It kind of feels like we're kind of like getting into fight mode here a little bit, which is very unlike the Fool. We're kind of saying, no, that's not me. I shouldn't be all that upset about this, but it feels like somebody really like put a wrench in the gears. Someone put a stick in your spokes or something, right? And maybe we're sort of angry about that. We're, I think, disappointed. And we're now having to deal with those consequences, right? Somebody inconvenienced us, I think, in a big way. The Four of Swords is us trying to just breathe, get through it, trying to let it go. I'm trying to forgive. I'm trying to forget. I'm trying to water under the bridge. I'm trying not to get mad. Okay, and I think it was because, you know, we have this Fool energy that we were very excited. We were looking forward to doing something, and somebody, because of an error in their judgment, it threw a mistake. I don't think it was intentional. I think it feels as if somebody put a stick through your spokes. Okay, I don't think they meant to do it, but nevertheless, we're frustrated. Okay, the Fool is getting frustrated because it doesn't get to indulge in that novelty. It could be that we were supposed to go do something fun this weekend. We were so excited, and then it turns out I got to work. What? Or it's canceled because of the weather. It's like, oh, what, really? The Four of Swords is a card of like box breathing, trying to calm ourselves down, trying to meditate, trying to let it go, trying not to stress out. I don't want to stress out. I'm not going to let them stress me out. We see, you know, anytime we get a 4, right, we start looking around for the 5. Well, we obviously see the 5 up here, the inconvenience, for, you know, maybe that's putting it mildly, but the disruption that this person has caused in your life. They may be a Sagittarius person, they may be a fire sign person, because the obstacle here is kind of the Queen of Wands as the obstacle card. But we're also trying not to be so stressed out. We're trying not to point the finger or blame the other person. Okay? Maybe we feel like this was a chance for us to do something we've never done before. This was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Because of someone else's mismanagement or someone else's error in judgment, we are, I think, quite inconvenienced here, okay, with these 2 5s. It could be that this has cost us money, and it could be that we are really trying hard not to blame the other person and not to be so angry, right? We're trying to calm ourselves down. This is the stress. This is mental stress. This is me trying to let go of that stress. Okay? Because somebody has disrupted your plans here with the 6 of Swords underneath. Somebody made it much more inconvenient for you. And again, this maybe has cost money. Maybe this is it has inconvenienced your life. It's caused a much more work for you, perhaps. And with this 2 of Wands over here, it's like we're ready to really fight, like the fight of your life here, right? And that fight may be us trying to just kind of let it go, trying to assume that they didn't mean to do it this way, that it wasn't their fault. We're trying not to kind of place blame anywhere. We're trying to be open to the universe moving forward, trying to just say, okay, everything happens for a reason, and if this plan isn't the one that's going to work out, then it's okay. It doesn't mean that this is never going to happen, whatever the Fool was looking forward to. It may just mean that it's going to be postponed. Okay, so we can try to look at it that way. And I almost feel like somebody is, I don't know, it's like it's a work thing and you were supposed to have the weekend off or something, and then somebody called in sick, and so now you have to go in. But this was supposed to be like your vacation or something like that, right? Because I feel like there's some kind of travel going on here, or there was supposed to go on, some kind of travel plans that now kind of have to be scrapped, postponed, because of somebody else. Now, the 7 of Pentacles in the background, it may be that this person actually maybe this person got let go, they got fired, okay? Because it's kind of like it is their fault, but it's indirectly their fault. Does that make sense? And so the Seven of Pentacles in the background is like somebody was supposed to cover for you, but then now they can't, either because they got fired, they got let go, or they had something quite urgent that came up, and so now you're unable to do the thing you wanted to do. It's kind of the energy that I'm feeling here. This is a card of failure. This is maybe even indicating that this is not the first time that you've tried to do this thing. And it almost feels now like every time you try to do this, something happens to get in your way. There's always some obstacle, to the point now where we're starting to really get mad and think, okay, somebody's up to no good. Somebody's doing this on purpose. Yeah. I think we're having a difficult time now trusting the people around us, thinking that this is intentional. Okay. The Four of Swords is really the name of the game for you right now. This is your battlefield. It's very difficult for you to let this go, but I think it's going to be in your best interest. Again, with the Universe card in the future position, it's not game over. It's a postponement. Okay? Something is taking longer than you thought. It will happen, but I don't think you're going to get to go today, in other words, right? Of course, with the Five of Pentacles, it is a disruption of your plans. Six of Swords is the card of the plan. I think you've been planning this for a long time, and it may be that's part of the animosity, because it's like, look, I've asked for these days off a long time ago, so why now am I having to cancel my plans because of someone else's screw up, basically. And you may not really get an answer. We may not really even want to ask the questions. We may have that Four of Swords to say, okay, it's fine. Yeah, no worries. We're seething with a little bit of frustration here, but outwardly we may just be, okay, yep, that's okay. Okay, we don't want to appear, as the Two of Wands is showing in your general energy. You don't want to appear as if you're going to turn this into a fight. You're going to turn this into an issue. Okay, I think we're fighting with ourselves to try to stay calm, forgive, forget, just accept and say, okay, everything happens for a reason. Maybe Spirit is doing this in order to redirect you around a bigger obstacle. Maybe it's Spirit's way of saying, now's not the time for you to go on this trip, or to do this thing, whatever your plans are, right? It could be that we're avoiding a larger mishap, and Spirit works that way sometimes. Sometimes it feels like something that we're intending to do gets sabotaged, and we're frustrated, and we don't know why. Very often, and I think we should assume this is the case, Spirit's trying to save me from some bigger kind of trouble. So Spirit is redirecting me around a bigger obstacle. So I have to assume that. Otherwise, there is this frustration and this anger that I think that builds up. So that Four of Swords is us choosing to believe that everything happens for a reason, that if this is the way the events are unfolding, it's because Spirit is trying to save me the trouble of going through a bigger disaster later. And I'm going to choose, and really it's a choice to believe that, because we may not know. It's one of those Final Destination kind of movies, right? And we don't know. It's like, okay, well, the travel plans are avoided, and I'm not able to go and do this whole thing I was going to do. Maybe if I would have done that, something unforeseen, something undesirable would have happened. And so by Spirit interfering and disrupting the plans now kind of saved us the grief. Okay? Being inconvenienced now in order to save ourselves from a greater inconvenience later. And we may not believe that, but we can choose to believe it. Okay. The next card in the environment, the Five of Swords here, is that it really seems as if we want to put the blame somewhere. Okay. And that, again, it's kind of the 5 to the 4, the stress. We're trying to manage this a little bit, because it's frustrating. Okay, that's very frustrating. The Queen of Wands in the position of the obstacle or the unwanted energy. It could be an older female energy that you feel is responsible. It could be a fire sign person. I feel like that card is also about how to let things go. Yeah, the Queen of Wands. All the queens are really about endings. Okay, the Queen of Wands can end something very quickly. Yeah, we can squash it right away and move on to whatever's next. So the Queen of Wands is very good at letting things go. Okay, because it just says, okay, well, if that wasn't going to work, fine, on to the next thing. The Queen of Cups, however, is lingering a lot longer in the feelings. So we have to understand that maybe outwardly we want to end something quick and say, yeah, water under the bridge, no big deal, don't worry about it, I'll go next weekend or I'll go next month, it's no big deal. While internally, we're spending a lot of time dealing with the emotions. I think this is very disappointing for you, it's very upsetting, okay? But we're trying not to really let that show too much. Does that make sense? Feels like this is a work thing. It feels like this is involving some kind of time off or some sort of travel. Maybe it's a promotion that we were going after or something like that. I want to look at the mystery card, and I would fully expect this to be another world card or a card of traveling, maybe another Six of Swords, maybe some more pentacles, maybe a 6, a 9, a 10 of cups or pentacles. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's take a look. Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is a card of illusions, right? Seven of Cups is kind of like saying, this is what you wanted. You thought this was going to be it. I was so excited. I wanted to go do this. But Spirit says, no. No, you don't get that. And we think, why? No, I want it. Spirit says, trust me. You would not have enjoyed this. Trust me, this was not going to be as fun as you wanted it to be. You'll thank me later, kind of thing, right? And I think that's kind of what we're choosing to believe that. We're choosing to assume that if Spirit took this away from me, it must mean that there was something about this that would have been bad for me. If I would have went on this trip, I would have stubbed my toe. I would have got bit by a spider. I would have gotten food poisoning. I would have gotten seasick. Something, something undesirable would have happened. So Spirit snatches this away through the agency of other people. Because it says, no, this is not going to be good for you right now. You don't need this. We have to choose to believe it that way. It's like I used to drink a lot when I was in my 20s, right? And my 30s. And, this was like, you go and you buy the bottle and you're walking home with your bottle of alcohol and something happens, you drop the bottle, it breaks. And you get mad, right? And what do you go back, you buy another one, right? Or you can say, wait a minute, no, Spirit must have done that for a reason. Spirit took that away from me and said, nope, don't do that today. And we have to, okay, all right. I'm choosing to accept that, especially if it's something like this where we can't really change it anyway. You could make this the fight of your life and go into the office and say, no, I demand that I have that day off, or I demand that you give me my ticket for the seat on the plane or whatever. And we could fight for it. We could demand it. Maybe we'd get it, maybe we wouldn't. Or we could just say, okay, yeah, you know what? I'm choosing to believe that Spirit knows something, in Spirit's infinite wisdom, knows something about this situation that I don't know. I see it as being perfect, shining, good. I want those things, right? But Spirit's saying, no, you don't. Trust me, you don't want these things right now. Okay? Regardless of what this is, if it's a personal thing, if it's a relationship, something happening at school, at work, at home, it doesn't matter what it is. What matters is we wanted it, we're disappointed that it got delayed, denied, taken away. We have to choose to believe that Spirit knows what Spirit is doing and says we would not enjoy this. This would not be good for us right now, so let's take the loss and think of it as a win. Okay, because ultimately it is. If we're avoiding something that is going to be more painful, okay, I'll suffer a little bit today, and I'll choose to believe that Spirit is saving me from something that would have been really bad. Okay? Now, we're going to do an extended reading as well if you want to stick around. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both the readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.